And when I finished, I was like, I'm done. I did it. The moment I will never forget is when this drill instructor that I admire so much comes up to me straight in front of me, put her arm on my shoulder and said, "Good morning, Marine."
PFC Summer Volkman became a Marine. Can you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Schrock Innovations presents Nebraska's #1 independent computer repair company with offices in Omaha and Lincoln. This is Compute This.
Alrighty, folks, welcome into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock, and I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, and Papillion. 866-496-8772. Those are the numbers to join us on the show today. Ask a question, make a comment. We'll put you in the drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Good for anything your heart desires over at the shop. Just pop in and, Kathy, who is gone in Lincoln, we miss her greatly. But now Christine will send you the certificate. Like, she's done it for a couple weeks now. She's like, butter, I got this. So she's doing well there as well. All right. So, boy, golly, the holiday season is rapidly approaching. The 2017 holiday special is doing phenomenal. This year, we're actually, as predicted, seeing an increase in the number of desktops versus laptops that kind of been trending down over the last few years. You know, people are saying, "Oh, I want the laptop, I want this, I want that," and I want a portable, and everybody wants a laptop. Maybe I should get a laptop. And now that those new Ryzen chips are out, everyone says, "But man, it would sure be nice to have a computer that does exactly what you want it to do, when you want it to do it, how you want it to do it." Wouldn't that be super special? That's the 2017 holiday special. Not only that, we talk a lot on the show about what you look for in a computer, how you should buy a computer. We kind of joked about the Black Friday specials. Yeah, I literally saw a commercial, and it was for a Chromebook. Okay, so a Chromebook is a computer that doesn't run Windows. It's not powerful enough typically to run Windows. It runs an operating system called Chromium, which is a Google-made operating system. It is enough to do, if you gave it to a student, they would be able to take it to school and do word processing. They would be able to print. They would be able to create a PowerPoint presentation. You'd be able to do all of these things. But the Chrome laptop, I think it's a little bit ahead of its time. In a bad way, actually, because when you have a laptop that literally, it's a phone is what it is in a laptop body, and it doesn't have an operating system that anybody makes software for. So it's not even as good as Android. So literally, you're running it. Anything you can run is all online. So you're using Google Docs. You can't use Microsoft Office. You can't use LibreOffice. You can't use anything like that. You have to use the software that's available to you on the internet, which it's coming, guys. But a lot of people are not there yet. They're not ready to give up installed software on their computer. It's already bad enough you've asked them to give up their disks and their codes, right? Like, people still irrationally cling to their DVD drives, or they try to load their 1994 version of TurboTax because, I have a disk I paid for this. I'm going to load it on my computer. Me computer user. So the times are changing, but they're just not quite there yet. So I saw this commercial, and it was like the Chromebook running Chromium. You could do this, you could do that, you could be a rock star, you could be everything you ever wanted to be in life with this beautiful HP 11-inch notebook. And at the end of the commercial, now granted, the thing is like $200. I mean, it's cheap. It's an 11-inch notebook. Have you ever tried to look at an 11-inch screen? Now, I just had a birthday, guys. I'm 41 now. My eyes are starting. I got bifocals this year, okay? So all of you who snickered at me before, "Oh, look, Thor has glasses." I'm like, "Oh, look, my eyes are so bad." They're like, hee. Now I get it now. I'm starting to get it. Good golly. And I'm like, honey, I think my prescription changed in this year alone. Even with my glasses on, things aren't looking so hot. Yeah, well, I guess I got to go back in. But I just spent $800 on glasses. I'm not going to go back and order another pair of glasses. Gosh darn it. Oh, boy. But can you imagine trying to use an 11-inch notebook? That's why they're so cheap. Everything, it's the minimal amount of everything. So for a young student who's going to destroy the thing and you don't want to spend a lot of money on it because they're not responsible with their stuff, perfect. For a normal person is not going to want one of those Chromebooks. A normal person is going to want either a laptop or a desktop with a 15.6-inch screen, typically not a 15. Now, I have a 15 on my laptop because I only have 15.4 inches between the two microphone stands here at the radio station. So I have to get it in, but if I get a 15.6, it doesn't fit. So I've got the 15 because I miss my 10 key. Like my 10 key pad on the right side, I miss it because that's what that 0.6 inches gives you. When you get a laptop and you close the lid of the laptop, it covers the keyboard up. And so you see these commercials for all these things. Like the other day, I was telling a customer in the Papillion Service Center Thursday, that I saw a commercial. My daughter watches, Disney, not Disney XD, that's the boy one. Disney Junior, that's the one for little kids. So she's watching, she's 4. She's watching Disney Junior in the morning, and they don't have commercials on Disney Channel, because, commercials we don't commercialize our children, thank you. But we do have sponsors, and this program, Mattel is a proud sponsor of the Disney Channel, helping our children be everything they can be. And then a commercial comes on, no joke, for My First Drone. Like My Little Droney or something. I mean, it's like, this is Disney Junior. This is for like preschoolers. And you're giving them, I had the Fisher-Price record player. You guys remember the Fisher-Price record player? You had the plastic record with the bumps on it, and you put it on, and you play your record. Oh, yeah, I remember the Fisher-Price record player. You could take that thing, grab it by the handle, swing it, smash it into a brick wall, set it back down, and play a record. That thing was a tank. I guess it's only logical. I mean, some people, My First Drone? Really? Like, wow, let's get them into the warfare spirit when they're 4. It's like, wow. I'm not an anti-military guy, but I'm like, My First Drone? It's hard enough for me to keep my 4-year-old out of the kitchen knife drawer. Do I want them flying drones through my windows? Yeah. 866-496-8772. So the holidays are among us as the drone crashes into the Thanksgiving table. Did that happen at your house? But the holidays among us, that is also a time at Schrock that's really special, because when we have the 2017 holiday specials out, it's a huge point of pride for the staff, because this year's computers, both the laptop and the desktop, are just fundamentally the most powerful, amazing machines you're going to find this holiday season. The 2017 catalogs are now available in the service centers. Also, you can check out our website, SchrockInnovations.com, where you can actually look at the computers and order online. So that's kind of handy as well. And by the way, I see that there are members of the Sarpy County Chamber of Commerce engaged in the program this morning. I want to make an announcement about the Papillion Service Center while I've got you all here. The Papillion Service Center is still open. Woo! It never occurred to me. I had a customer come in and ask me, they called and they said, "Are you still open?" And I was like, well, of course we're still open. Why wouldn't we be open? Well, I knew you were moving, so I didn't know if you were still open. And it just, that service center's been a little slow lately. Like, all the others are going like gangbusters, and Papillion's just kind of been lagging behind, which is fine because that's where they build all the computers, right? But it's just been a little slower than normal, and we're like, why is it so slow? Maybe it's because Thor's been getting on the radio every week and saying, hey, we're moving. Well, we're moving in December, at the end of December, when no one's going to be paying attention to our service center, okay? They're going to come in like, I need a computer right now, and I don't care what it is, as long as it's not a Chromebook, because I heard Thor on the radio talk about those 11-inch Chromebooks, and I do not want a Chromebook. But as long as it's not a Chromebook, and I want the 0.6, whatever that is he talked about, I want the 0.6. Give me the 0.6. That's what happens when people come in, So we are open in the Papillion Service Center. I did do a walkthrough, actually, of the new Papillion Service Center, and the new Papillion Service Center is coming along nicely. They're spraying the dry fall on the ceiling, so the ceiling's getting blacked out. Once the ceiling's done and the walls are painted, they'll finish hanging the lights in there. Once the lights are hung, we'll get the data wires all terminated, the power's all in, and then we're going to start moving stuff, guys. So it's going to be fun times. All right, and then Scott's posting on Facebook. By the way, we are live at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. If you'd like to watch the show this morning, my red shirt looks a pleasant orange today. But it's funny. It's like I get an extra wardrobe in the studio here because the lighting in here is weird. So I don't know. I can screw that bulb in. I just didn't get to it this morning before we started the show. But Scott writes, whatever happened to the Council Bluffs store that you were going to open? There's a lot of business over on that side of Iowa. You are absolutely right, Scott. Over half of the business in our Papillion Service Center is actually of the Council Bluffs persuasion. We can tell by zip code. You know, the 515s, they're different than the 680s. And so we do know that there are a lot of customers in Iowa that enjoy Schrock services. We did look into a service center in Council Bluffs, but we ended up not doing it. And here is why. Imagine, so we're moving to a new service center in Papillion, right? So we're literally building it from the ground up. There was nothing in this building before we got there, and now that we're there, we're creating something in the space. So it was an empty shell. To go to an empty shell to a full building, let's just say, just construction costs. This doesn't count equipment. This doesn't count moving or anything like that. It's going to cost about $40,000 to get that space built out. The cost to get the same space built out in Council Bluffs for some unknown reason was $110,000. And we just said, no, negatory. Can't do it. We'd have to operate for 5 years just to break even on construction costs. There's just no way. It's like people think, wow, it's an electronics store, it's a computer store. You guys must make tons of money. We're in the service business. We sell hardware because that's what you have to do to provide the service. And in the service business, yes, you're selling labor hours, so it's a profitable enterprise. Otherwise, we wouldn't be there. But let's just say I haven't retired to the dry dockable lakes of Tennessee yet. Okay, I'm still right here. It is November. It is cold outside, and I'm still in Nebraska. Because it's the holiday season. It's go time. The 2017 holiday special is more popular than ever than it has been any other year in the past. We got to make sure that we're here making things going right. We got to get these catalogs into the service centers. We have to make sure that the display models are up and visible, that those 2K monitors are conveniently set up right next to a regular HD monitor, which is totally good enough for anybody. But when you put it next to a 2K monitor, it looks like my first drone, okay? You don't want it. You want the 2K one. I had a woman come in from her husband owned a steel building company, and he was like, well, we want a computer that'll put a blueprint up on the wall and allow us to manipulate it and do things like that. And she priced out a regular computer all the way to the end, and she said, well, for $200 more, I can have the holiday special. And I said, well, yeah, that's right, because it comes with everything. It comes with the monitor. I know you're going to hook it up to a TV, but it also comes with a monitor. Comes with a keyboard, comes with the mouse, comes with the speakers. It's a tower, it's everything. It's got the video card in it. It's everything you need. It's actually a better computer than the one you're buying, but it's only like $200 more because we sell them at cost. So you're getting what is in essence a $3,000 desktop computer for about $1,500, $1,499 to be precise. So it's an amazing deal. While supplies last, we started with 75 of each. I have not been on the website to take a look at the numbers. And the interesting thing we have to do this year is with the website, every other product we've sold online that has a quantity, it's been sold exclusively on the website, like the Safe Upgrade was sold exclusively on the website. So keeping track of quantities wasn't a problem. Well, now we have 3 service centers and a website. And so we've got to go through and see, oh, wow, so we got to add it all up. So every Monday we add it up to see where we're at. And as we get closer to the holiday season and those numbers kind of dwindle down to where they need to be, we'll keep those updated for you. But as of right now, there's still plenty left. We do sell out every year by Christmas, usually selling the display models on Christmas Eve. I wasn't joking when I talked about on Christmas Eve that there's going to be some guy coming into the Papillion Service Center. We won't have a front counter at that point. It'll be in the other shop. But we'll have a nice card table set up right up front with a cash box on it and everything. And just like a garage sale. You're like, hey, I got me a display model here. Hey, you need a watch? You got all kinds of Christmas gifts. 866-496-8772. Let's jump into those phones real quick. All right, first up, let's go to Jim. Thanks for joining us on the program. Jim, how can I help you on Compute This?
Yes, sir. Thanks for taking the call. Last week you gave a stock tip, and I'm wondering what that was, and then your justification for it, what you thought.
Well, heck, I'm not. I'm going to preface by saying I'm not a financial advisor. The number one stock tip I would have given you was weeks ago, and that was Bitcoin, up 700% in the last month or something like that. Yeah. But anyway, if you missed that boat, what I said was AMD. AMD is the company that makes the processors that go into the holiday special desktop. Intel is its main competitor. Intel is the company that makes the processors that go into the holiday special laptop. Well, if AMD is so great, why didn't we put their chips in both computers? The answer is they're coming out in the spring with their laptop processors. And when they come out with those in the spring, they're going to make Intel's laptop processors look like my first drone. So it's going to be good. And in fact, Intel announced a week or two ago that they said they're going to be buying AMD's graphics chips now because their Intel graphics chips can't keep up with AMD's chips. That's why the holiday special laptop doesn't have an Intel graphics card in it. It's got the NVIDIA card. But the AMD stuff is doing really well. In fact, when that announcement was made about Intel, I think their stock bumped about $2 a shares. I've got a couple of guys on staff that like to day trade in their spare time, and they're always telling me about how they made. I never hear about how they lost money, right? I never hear about those stories. But it's like a casino winning. I only hear about the times you hit the jackpot. I didn't hear about the hundreds of hours you spent pulling that stupid lever or tapping that button, and it just went home with no paycheck or something. I don't hear about that, but I do hear every single time you strike a jackpot. That's pretty impressive. You tend to get those a lot. But no, that was the tip. That was the deal.
Okay, thanks.
No sweat. Like I said, again, I'm not a financial advisor, so if you lose your child's dinner money, it's not my fault. Okay.
Right, and so AMD is coming out with a laptop. When do they think again?
Well, in the spring of next year, they're going to come out with their processor line for desktops came out. There was a lot of hype behind them. There was so much hype that people didn't really believe it. Because AMD in the past, let's be honest, has overhyped some of their stuff. But when it came out and it fulfilled and it actually exceeded the hype, then they said, oh my gosh. And now they're saying, hey, we also got these processors ready for laptops, and they're going to be coming out in the spring of 2018. And when those come out, they run cooler than Intel's chips. They use less energy than Intel's chips, and they're faster than Intel's chips.
Whoa.
And so for a portable, like a mobile solution, that's like check. We got that. And Intel has nothing in the pipeline to answer this. This came out of left field. They're like, we had no idea. In 6 months, you completely designed a new processor over. This happened in 2016, and then you released it in 2017. And it was and even Intel got caught bribing reviewers to give it a bad review.
Whoa.
That hasn't happened since AMD came out with their FX chips like a decade ago and caught Intel flat-footed. So I mean, Intel literally resorted, like, there were people who were being paid by Intel in free product to sandbag the review of the Ryzen processor. And so once in a while you'd have these anomalous reviews like, it was terrible, and everyone else is like, this is like the best thing since sliced bread. And this one guy's like, this is terrible, and everyone's like, you're a moron, and it just stood out like a sore thumb. Like, is Intel paying you too? So yeah, it was pretty rough, but nevertheless, now they're buying AMD's chips. The cryptocurrency mining is going crazy. AMD makes a lot of money on cryptocurrency mining because of their graphics cards, and their new Vega cards are the best you can buy for that. So there's a lot of strong things going forward for AMD. We're happy to have them as the technology provider for the 2017 holiday special desktop.
Okay. Well, sounds good. Thanks, Thor.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call, Jim. Appreciate it. 866-496-8772. Ed, stay on the line. We'll take your call coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations repair technicians also make house calls. Make an appointment and let us bring our award-winning computer support right to your home or business. Schrock Innovations has spent nearly 2 decades working to make your technology life easier, and the all-new SchrockInnovations.com is no exception. Now you can order new modular computers and solid-state laptops directly from our website, secure your computer with our virus-free guaranteed semantic endpoint software, find innovative new technologies like our modular storage devices, and get free help and tips. Take a look at the specials section to find sales on one-of-a-kind items, display models, refurbished units, and our latest special offers. Swing by the Compute This page to watch TV segments and archived radio shows, or even get one-on-one help through the Schrock Desk. As always, we respect your privacy, so we secure our website with the latest encryption technology and only the most secure payment methods. You can pick up your purchases at any of our 3 service centers or have them shipped directly to your door. The new SchrockInnovations.com makes technology simple. It's what we do. Compute This Pro Tip 423. Everyone knows you need an antivirus and firewall program for your computer, but Which one is the best? Should you use the free ones, pay for a commercial product, or maybe even the free stuff your internet service provider gives you? The absolute worst thing you can do is to install nothing. Windows 10 comes with Windows Defender, but Microsoft never intended it to be your primary antivirus product. Free antivirus like AVG or Avast are more effective than Windows Defender, but Consumer Reports ranks the free antivirus products in the middle of the pack when compared to their commercial competitors. As for the free software from your internet provider, forget about it. It's designed to protect their network, not your computer. There are two products that trade the crown for best antivirus software year after year. Schrock recommends Symantec products like Endpoint, but the Russian-made Kaspersky antivirus program also does an outstanding job. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company with 3 locations in Nebraska to help you out with your computer needs. We are, of course, the original Schrock Innovations on the corner of 27th and Pine Lake Road in Lincoln. In Omaha, 168th and Burke at Village Point South. And in Papillion, we're on the corner of 72nd and Highway 370, but next month we'll be moving our location. We won't be closed at all. We'll be moving the location to 84th and Highway 370, just up the street there a little bit on the highway there, to the Midlands Place shopping center, which is just a bustling shopping center full of all kinds of stuff. Also, on our website, SchrockInnovations.com, I want to welcome everybody who's watching on Facebook right now. We do have people watching from far and wide. I want to let everyone know that we do also sell all of our products and services on our website at SchrockInnovations.com. In fact, if you're outside of the Nebraska service area, every year for the holiday season, we're shipping computers all over the map. And the website allows us to do that. Last year was the first year that we actually had online ordering available, and it was amazing the places we were sending computers. And it introduced, like, is this person really a customer, or is this like a fraud thing? And then we'd call them up, and like the way we would know is if they knew the radio show. Like if they knew about the radio show, then it was like, okay, you're a real person. Because otherwise, if you're in Wyoming, how do you hear about us? You know, you didn't do a Google search and find the 2017 holiday special. What were you searching for? What if there was a computer? Something for the holidays. It's got to be special. And I don't want last year's, and I don't want to be presumed to get next year's, so maybe I should put this year in there. And I know that Google tries to geographically match things to your location, so I want to make sure everyone has an equal chance. So I'm going to pick a state that's like right in the middle of the map. Nebraska. Oh, wow. Who's this Schrock place? Pretty awesome. Hey, the holidays, I'm going to buy me 4 of those. And can I use 4 different Amex cards with sequential numbers and have you next day ship them to 3 different addresses, please? And thank you? Yeah. That actually happened. But then, we have our customers in South Dakota and Montana and Texas. Yes, I know I'm talking to you in Round Rock. I know you're listening. But yeah, it's amazing. So if you're outside the listening area and you're thinking, man, I wish I lived in Nebraska so I could get me one of those holiday specials, you can order one right on the website. We'll ship it to you. You get the same warranty service that we offer here, especially on the holiday special laptop. This year we chose a Dell unibody instead of the Asus ROG unibody that we normally go with. And there were a few reasons for that, but the biggest reason overall was the Dell computer gave us everything the ROG did. We got the same backlit keyboard. We got a faster internet connection. We got faster Bluetooth connections. We got a touch screen instead of a regular screen. We still got a DVD drive. We got USB, all the USB 3.0 ports. We still got the card reader. I mean, it was still 15.6. It had the 10 keypad. It was everything we wanted. And on top of that, when Dell ships them to us, it's kind of hilarious because it's like, this is an amazing laptop. And how can you get so many things right and then screw up so epically by putting a mechanical hard drive in that thing and slow memory? Like, it's an amazing computer, right? And then, punch in the gut. You couldn't get it across the finish line. It's like you're running a marathon and you're in the last lap of your marathon. But you're very close to the finish line and you just decided to quit. We can all see that would be foolish, right? So at Schrock, we push it over the finish line. We take out that mechanical drive. We put in a fast solid-state drive. The 3D vertical RAM solid states, the new ones that are out, they're amazing. Also, we take out the slower memory, put in faster memory, so that when you get this computer, it's not the original make and model from Dell. Now, here's the beautiful part. You get our warranty on it, and you also get Dell's warranty on it. And not only is the Dell warranty for that unit it's a Dell warranty where we know you have to put it in the box and ship it back and wait 2 weeks, and we're like, no. We're not going to put our customers through that. So when Dell wanted us to do this, we talked to them and said, give us a better warranty deal. And they gave us their premier warranty deal, which is next business day on-site service. So if you ever have a problem with this laptop, if it's any part that Schrock puts in, we always have those parts. We can always replace them. If it's any part that Dell put in, a Dell tech will be on our bench or in your home the next business day to get that part replaced. So it's amazing. That's what we do at Schrock, is amazing service. That's what we always try to do. 866-496-8772. Ed, you're next up on the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Yeah, Kyle at your Omaha store is a real good employee. He's patient and he knows his stuff. And anyway, the other thing I want to talk to you about is I'm the guy with that last year's holiday special that's been having problems.
Okay.
That Asus, the company had it for about a month and a half. I got it back, and about 3 weeks later, it started doing it again, and I brought it down there.
I think you're the person that has the video problem, right, Ed?
Yeah, well, whatever it is, I don't know what it is.
No, Kyle actually brought your unit to my attention. You, of course, there's got to be that statistical outlier, Ed. And normally, have you ever drawn straws for anything?
Yeah.
Do you always get the short one, or is it just this time?
Well, yeah. This time I got the short one. Well, I got the one that's called the lemon.
Oh, wow.
I'm not mad, Thor.
Well, I know, but here's the thing. It's like the holiday special laptop, the ROG units, they're amazing computers. And for some stupid reason, what ends up happening is when you have any of the major companies will do this. That's why when we went to Dell, we said, Dell, this time we want this next business day warranty, because when you come out to our bench with your tech, we can watch what the tech does, and we can actually guide his actions. So, for example, if we send the unit to, or the first time we sent your unit to Asus, I mentioned, Asus sends us the laptop, and they send us a mechanical hard drive in it and slow memory, just like Dell does. And we have to take out the slow memory in the mechanical hard drive, replace it with good stuff, and send it back. So when we sent your unit back to Asus for the first time around for the video problems, we didn't send them your solid-state hard drive because we knew they would erase it.
Yeah.
And so we didn't want you to lose all your stuff, so we pulled the hard drive out and sent it back. So what Asus did is they said we fixed the main board, and they bench tested it, but they didn't have a hard drive in it. And, we're looking at it, and we can't tell one way or the other if they actually replaced it or not. So this time I told Kyle, let's make absolutely sure there's no possible way that, this is the second time for the same issue. If they didn't replace the part last time because they thought they quote unquote fixed it, this time they should replace the part. But just to make sure there's no doubt about it at all, we cloned your solid-state hard drive back over to a mechanical hard drive and put that hard drive in the computer. So when they wipe it, they're going to wipe that. But we still have your hard drive in the shop. And then that way we're like, okay, we're covered. The data's all good to go and everything. But at least Asus will be able to see the problem as Ed is seeing it. Not like, okay, well, let's put a hard drive in there and load Windows and say, well, look, it loaded Windows just fine and passed all the bench tests. Call these people stupid, check it off the list and send it back. And I think that might have been what happened last time. They did a hardware refresh on the board. They power cycled it, which we could totally do in the shop, which we've done for you before. And we know that doesn't solve the problem. That's why we sent it to Asus with a great big list of instructions about what we've done and what they need to do to solve the problem. So this time around, we're being a little more aggressive with them about what they need to do to solve it. But basically, they need to replace the main board in the computer because the graphics card is part of the main board in that unit.
Yeah.
And so when they
Thor, I'm glad I bought it from Schrock instead of like Best Buy or Office Depot or one of them, because I would now break the service like I'm getting from you guys. You guys took and put my endpoint and secure updater on my other laptop for me, so I could have a computer.
Yep, absolutely. That's what we do. Ed, thank you for the call, and thank you for complimenting Kyle. I'll pass that on to him. It means the world. It really does. We appreciate that. We appreciate your Google reviews as well. 866-496-8772. I'm late for my bottom of the hour. Got to take that, and then we'll be back with more coming up next on Compute This.
Update all of your third-party apps on your computer with Secure Updater. It keeps all your apps running smoothly and helps block viruses. Download it for free today at secureupdater.com. Some people like desktops for their power and upgradability, but nothing rivals a laptop for computing on the go. But why should you have to sacrifice performance for portability? The innovators at Schrock want our customers to have it all, so we created a new kind of laptop, the solid-state laptop from Schrock Innovations. Solid-state laptops are built using the same frame and mainboards as regular laptops, but we've removed half of the moving parts while more than doubling the computer's speed. The result? Laptops that boot to Windows in 6 seconds or less, respond instantly to your commands, and can survive drops that put most laptops into the data recovery lab. Starting at only $499, solid-state laptops give you speed, reliability, durability, and performance for the same price most people pay for a cheap disposable laptop. The next time you're looking for a laptop, check out the solid-state laptops at SchrockInnovations.com or visit any of our service centers. Simple, solid, fast technology is what we do at Schrock. Compute This pro tip number 753. Have you ever wondered how the bad guys always seem to find a way into your computer? Gone are the good old days of email worms and I love you viruses. Nobody wants to steal your data anymore, or in many cases even your identity. Today's cyber criminals want to sell access to your computer or hold your data for ransom. The bad guys are exploiting zero-day vulnerabilities to break into systems that are supposed to be hack-proof. These vulnerabilities are always newly discovered, and the criminals have a brief time to exploit them before they get patched. Antivirus and firewalls do not prevent these attacks, but you can minimize your computer's exposure by installing all security patches as quickly as possible. The average computer needs 12 patches a week. That's not including the ones that are automatically delivered to your computer. Boost your cybersecurity by staying on top of it manually, or use a patch installation program like Secure Updater to get your computer the patches it needs. This pro tip is brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Fox News Radio, I'm Karen McHugh. Boston was the scene of dueling rallies Saturday.
The so-called free speech and anti-Marxism rally, billed as a rally for the Republic, was more like a shouting match.
There's a war against whites right now.
Each side arrived armed with banners and bullhorns.
We gotta drive these fascists from power.
The anti-Marxists, who carried flags and wore hats supporting President Donald Trump, were outnumbered by the self-described socialists 10-1.
Fox's Bill Marcus. It's the big weekend for NASCAR.
It all comes down to today's action at Homestead Miami Speedway in the Ford EcoBoost 400, and one last chance for Dale Earnhardt Jr. to earn a checkered flag in his NASCAR career. Beyond Little E's final race, the Championship 4 will make a run for the Monster Energy Cup as Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex Jr., Brad Keselowski, and Kyle Busch all look to snag the checkered flag at Homestead to hold that trophy high in victory lane.
Fox's Matt Napolitano. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Now, the News Radio 1110 KFAB Weather Watch.
Today, warmer and gorgeous across the metro. Highs will top off at 55 degrees as winds move out of the southwest light, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Going into tonight, we'll stay mostly clear and temperatures will cool to 36 degrees, but tomorrow we'll head to the lower 60s with stronger winds moving in. With Omaha's most accurate weather team, I'm 6 News meteorologist Peter Sherwood on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, and Papillion. 866-496-8772. In our service centers, each service center has a specialization, has something that it does better than the other service centers. And as a team, our 3 service centers work together to provide customers in all 3 locations with great service. So, for example, the Lincoln Service Center is the kind of the corporate headquarters service center. You know, accounts payable, accounts receivable, all that stuff that happens behind the scenes goes through Lincoln, which is why when Kathy, our 9-year veteran, left and Christine came in to replace her, you know, that's a big challenge. So Christine is stepping into some big shoes and doing an amazing job. We're so very lucky to have her. And the Omaha Service Center, its specialization is data recovery services. So we have all of our data recovery lab and equipment there because that equipment is stupid expensive to buy. It's kind of a running joke in the service center. Hey, look, a new card came out for the DDI today. It's going to allow us to recover this and that and the other drive. Guess how much it costs? Magically, $4,000. They all cost $4,000. Every single one of these pieces of equipment costs $4,000. And of course, you need like 50 of them, So it's like, oh yeah, there you go. It's just only $4,000 a card. And you're looking at the card and you're like, this cost them like $2 to make. But tis the industry, I suppose. And the Papillion Service Center is our warehouse facility. That's where all of the shipping and receiving happens for the company as far as new computers and modular systems. That's where we're building the 2017 holiday specials. That's where all the prototype R&D is done. That's where all the packaging is done. Everything of that nature happens in Papillion. So Papillion's job is to make everything look beautiful for the other service centers. Omaha's job is to recover the information that you guys need from your computers at the most inexpensive possible price. The data recoveries that we do in our Omaha Service Center are, no joke, half of the national average in cost. And it doesn't make people groan any less when they have to do them. It's like when you find out instead of $3,000 it's going to be $1,500, you don't jump up and down and do a happy dance. You cry. Maybe not as badly as you would if you thought it was $3,000, but whatever. But we can get it done, and we can get it done locally for you in almost every case. All right, 866-496-8772. I'm going to reach out to our Facebook listeners this morning. You can actually watch the show live, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. John writes, I live in New Jersey and listen to the show, and that's how I found you here. So thank you very much, John. Glad to have you on the program. And here I sit waiting for a wicked card to drive my Oculus Rift. Now, Thomas, there are lots of wicked cards out there. In fact, the Vega cards are available again. You can get a Vega 64 now. They cost about $500, so they've come down quite a bit from $1,600 at the start of the year. You can actually buy them now, so they're available pretty widely. Speaking of new things that aren't quite available yet, did you hear about Tesla launching their new semi? Tesla launched a battery-powered semi. And it's not like my little semi. I mean, it's it's a semi. It's an unveiling. And I don't know, I saw my first Model 3 when I was driving around Omaha yesterday. I saw the Model 3. Someone drove by. I'm like, hey, that's a Model 3. To give you, for those of you who don't follow, the tech industry news and everything, Tesla is a company that is widely renowned for hyping up its capabilities and not necessarily always delivering exactly what they promised, but they always have a really good excuse why it couldn't do it. Now, people who are Tesla fans will say that's because Elon and his team are doing crazy, amazing things that no one ever even thought was possible, like, landing a rocket ship or landing a rocket body. You shoot it up in the air and then land it on a moving platform in the ocean. Yeah. This isn't exactly parking trucks, okay? This is really, really hard stuff. And with Tesla making cars, they made their whole thing was, we're going to make these electric vehicles. We're going to make them for $30,000 a piece. They're a startup company. They've never built cars before. Their production line was non-ergonomic. They hurt a lot of their employees with different repetitive motion injuries and stuff. And they were going to automate the whole production line in the gigafactory is what they called it. Well, unfortunately, They weren't able to automate to the level they wanted to automate. There was apparently a human bottleneck in the gigafactory. A human bottleneck. But I thought you were getting rid of the humans. Well, apparently they couldn't. So they bought another company that does some other kind of automation that they're going to integrate the technology and fix the human bottleneck. It means they're going to get rid of the people that keep getting hurt. So they're going to get rid of them. So they haven't been able to make the Model 3s as fast as they wanted, and as a result, they're missing their production deadlines by a lot. They were supposed to be making like 1,500 cars a month. By now, they're making 200. So, I mean, it's not like a miss by a little bit. It's like an epic fail. So usually what ends up happening when Tesla stock starts sliding, Elon comes out with some big, new, amazing, crazy idea thing, and everyone's like, wow, shiny new thing, and the stock goes back up. So the stock's been Tesla's getting pounded lately because they're not delivering. If they produced the cars they said they were going to produce, everything would be fine, but they're not delivering, so their stock's getting hammered. And then, there's a new semi. Wow, it's going to revolutionize the driverless semi, and and other companies are doing this too. BMW actually has made a driverless semi, I believe, as well. Let's see. The Semi is supposed to be in production in 2019, but's had trouble hitting its benchmarks just like the Tesla 3. Another issue is that the Tesla is a consumer-focused company that's entering a new industry focused on business. I can tell you firsthand, guys, being a consumer-focused computer repair company, all day long, I'll go to all the business luncheons and everything, and the other tech guys will be there, from, all the other companies, and they'll say, well, Thor, gee, I don't know how you do what you do. Dealing with all the filthy masses like that, what did they call them? The deplorables. That's what it was. Yes. Dealing with all of those people. Oh, we prefer to deal with businesses. Businesses is where the money is at, and you make lots of money dealing with businesses. And I'm not stupid. I know businesses have a bigger budget than individual people, but when you help a business fix a technology problem, you're helping a business, and that's great. But when you have literally, I don't know how old she is, but I'm going to call her an older woman, and she was sitting at my front desk in Papillion when I came in, and she was literally in tears. No joke, in tears, because the interface of her Outlook.com email changed. Now, on one hand, I'm like, it's time for some tough love because you're using a free email interface and it's going to change. It's going to happen. So we just need to prepare ourselves today for the eventuality when that's going to happen, okay? Stroke the hair a little bit, bring them down, and then say, but look here, I can uncheck this thing that says try the beta, and it goes back to the way it was. And her face lit up, and she's like, why would they do that to me? Like, well, they're going to do it to you. That's what the beta is. They're testing it out so they can do it to you later. And then she started crying again. And I was like, oh, gosh, I'm just not good at this comfort thing, really. But no, when you help somebody and you make their day, that makes my day. That fuels me. That fuels my staff. That explains to the new guys that come in, this is why we are here. These aren't computers on our benches. These are people on the bench. These are their lives, their digital lives on our bench to get repaired or maintenanced or fixed or recovered or whatever the case might be. So we need to get these computers out the door. Yes, because it's a production thing, and yes, we're a business and we need to make money, so we need to make sure they get out the door and don't live on the bench all day. But put yourself in their shoes. In reality, how long would you want to go without your computer? Get these people their computers back. And so we do. So it's pretty crazy. But anyway, so I'm reading this Tesla story here, and the challenges of taking what we do as a consumer-focused industry and moving that to business. We offer corporate service agreements, and here's the thing: I think we do a pretty darn good job at it because the businesses that we help, their computers run. In fact, after 3 or 4 years, a lot of businesses fire us. And, this was a bad trend for us because we really went into corporate services hardcore about 5 years ago. And then all of a sudden, about, 4 years later, we started losing clients. And we're like, what is going on? We made the false assumption that just like our consumers just want it to work, right? They don't want to see the hamster inside the machine running like feverishly on the wheel. They want to see the swan gliding across the water. They just want it to work. Make it look stupid magic simple. And it's great. Businesses want to know they're getting a return on their investment. And the only way you can show them that the reason they haven't had a major IT problem is because we've been there preventing the problem from happening. And when you fire us, the problem's going to come back, and it's going to be expensive to fix. And they're going to go to another company, and they're going to say, well, we were working with these Schrock people, and we paid them for years, and nothing ever went wrong. And then we got rid of them. And all this stuff is bad. They must have screwed everything up before they left. It's going to be, oh my gosh, So we've even, for our corporate service agreements, because if you own a small business and you're looking for someone to manage your IT stuff, and you never thought, well, Schrock does consumer stuff, maybe they do business stuff too. We said, let's create something that is so ridiculously affordable that businesses have no reason to not choose us. And then we'll give them lots of reports that tell about all the wonderful things we're doing so that they always know we're doing something, So this is why you have no problems. Once a year we get the renewal calls like, so why should I renew with you again? What did you do for me? And I look it up in the system and I'm like, do you realize you had like 47 work orders last year for your staff? And he's like, well, what do you mean a work order? That was 47 times that we had to send a tech out to your business or remote in to fix something. And if the average visit was 2 hours, You just spent 100 hours of labor, and at the consumer rate of $150 an hour on site, you just spent this much money. But instead, you spent $275 per computer per year and a $100 per incident trip fee. And it's flat rate. You don't charge hourly for being there. So the corporate service agreement actually allowed you to budget your IT costs for the entire year at an extraordinarily reasonable rate, and also allowed your company to save a boatload of money over either employing an on-hand, like an in-house IT guy that just sits there half the time doing nothing, or hiring one of our competitors that charges $3,000 to $5,000 a month to do what we do. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, send it over. I guess I'll renew. So in year 5, we're getting a lot of renewals this year because we finally figured out, oh my gosh, business and consumer are, wow, they're different. And now Tesla's going to figure that out too. That's a big challenge, actually, moving between a consumer-focused company and a business-focused company. The concerns are completely different. 866-496-8772. We got one more break to take, and then Tom and Jim, your calls are coming up next on Compute This.
Now you can configure and purchase laptops, desktops, tablets, and more, all at the new SchrockInnovations.com. Check out our specials for one-of-a-kind discounts and deals. Every person listening to this broadcast has either experienced data loss or knows someone who has. When you think about it, you have a lot more data stored in many more places than you'd like to admit. Have you downloaded those videos from your phone, backed up the pictures on your iPad, or even tackled that sometimes daunting task of backing up your entire computer's hard drive? Most people just don't back up their stuff, and that's why Schrock Innovations has one of the most advanced data recovery centers in the Midwest. Equipped with the latest DDI data imaging devices, state-of-the-art custom recovery software, and Omaha's best data recovery technicians, Schrock Innovations has a 96.8% success rate when recovering data from damaged hard drives, flash drives, camera cards, and more. We all know we should back up our data, but if you are ever caught in a data loss nightmare, call the experts at Schrock Innovations to get your data back right where it belongs, safe and backed up on a stable hard drive. Compute This pro tip number 187. Recently, you may have received a phone call from someone claiming to be from Microsoft or had a message pop up on your screen telling you that your computer was infected. Do not respond to these calls or messages. They're always a scam. Microsoft will never call you about your computer. Here's how the scam actually shakes out. You get the phone call that your computer's infected. The scammers hit you with some mumbo-jumbo about an infected IP address. They'll ask your permission to connect and help you fix it. Once they're in your computer, they do a bunch of fake scans that detect a lot of problems that really aren't there. You see the scan results and figure, your computer's in trouble. Next, the scammers will demand up to $400 to clean up the computer and set you up with a lifetime protection. Don't fall for the scam. Keep good security software installed, like Endpoint and Secure Updater, so when things like this do happen, you know you are covered. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back into Compute This. Special award for anybody who puts all of our pro tips in numerical order. Like, which one was that again? 866-496-8772. You listen long enough, you too will be a professional. Let's jump into those phones. Tom, how can I help you today on Compute This?
Yes, I had a strange update on my computer several weeks ago. It was different than regular Windows updates.
Okie doke.
And then I noticed yesterday or the day before the old emails that I had, I don't know how old they were, several weeks or maybe a month or two old, all of a sudden they went into a different file. Does that mean I have the new Windows update?
Well, the easiest way to know if you have the new Windows update is in your lower left-hand corner of your screen, if you right-click on your Start menu, whenever you want to select something, you left-click. And then when you want more options, you right-click. And if you're left-handed and you set up your computer as a left-handed computer, you just have to invert everything I say. So you right-click on the Start menu and then left-click on System. And it's going to open up the About Windows 10 window. It's going to tell you everything about your computer, including the version of Windows that you're running. The Fall Creators Update is version 1709.
I'll write that down.
Yeah, if you have 1709 for your version number, you've got the new update. And if you have 1703, you don't. And if you have something smaller than that, you're really far behind.
Well, this is last year's holiday special, so hopefully I'm not too far behind.
No, especially if you've had it in for service or like a maintenance checkup or something, we would have updated that for you if it was behind.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll take a look.
All right, sounds great. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. All right.
Thank you.
866-496-8772. Roger from Facebook writes, Thor, does the first-gen modular tablet support an external monitor? Roger, all of our modular tablets support external monitors. They use a micro HDMI cable to do so. We do have those in all 3 service centers as well. They run about $49 a cable, but it allows you to hook it up to the HDMI port in the back of your television. So, yep, you can get that done. All right, also from Facebook, Laura asks, is online backup worth the expense? Well, here's the thing, Laura. Backup is backup, and you're never going to have me tell you that you have too many backups, because it would be slightly scandalous, since I run a data recovery lab, to tell you, don't worry about backing up your data. If something goes wrong, there's always going to be a good guy like me there to help you get it back at an exorbitant fee. Yeah, baby. No. It's not. I already covered that. We're half the price. Come on. But no, the bottom line is it worth the expense, is what she's asking. And honestly, it depends. Be really careful when you set up online backups, because a lot of the services like Carbonite and Mozy will actually exclude a lot of files. They'll exclude all video files. Sometimes the video files are the ones you want to back up the most. They'll exclude, just the other day, I found I was going through my my Amazon backups from my phone, and I found a video that I remembered having the video, but I didn't know where I'd stored it. Like, I didn't have it anywhere locally anymore, because, my son's 11 now, and when he was 4, we got him one of those Power Wheels ATV things, and, and maybe I was being a little, exaggerative in my actions, but, his little kid voice, I'm going to run you over, and he's driving toward me, and then he runs into me, of course, and then the phone goes flying, and Dad goes flying, and, in some, crazy comical tangle of limbs, very Chevy Chase. You end up on the ground, and then, ha, 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 and he drives away. It's like, those are the videos you don't want to lose, right? So I just mentioned, I found that in my Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime will back up your files, so you can get your Google Drive. You can get very affordable storage on Google Drive. Anything you put in your Google Drive folder gets backed up to Google Drive. It'll all get backed up. Now, Carbonite says they back up your whole computer, but they don't back up anything that's over 2 gigabytes in size, and they don't back up any video files unless you specifically include them in the backup set. The worst part is restoring the data from those services takes forever. Like, if you want to restore a whole hard drive, you're going to be there for 4 or 5 days to restore a hard drive. So is it worth the expense? It's worth the expense if you have a fire or a tornado or something that destroys your home and your on-site backup is gone, and that's the stuff from your family. If you live in one of the hurricane-ravaged areas and, something like that happens to your family, is an off-site backup worth the expense? Yeah, it's worth the expense. It also depends on how much expense we're talking, because there is let's just say, an online backup for a consumer, this is the difference between consumer and business, right? For the consumer, the online backup is like $80 a year or something like that. For a business, it's like $4,000 a month, I don't know why. My business telephone, my business phone line costs 3 times more than a consumer phone line. I'm pretty sure it's the same technology, though. Imagine that. 866-496-8772. Jim, you're next up on the program. What can we do for you today and compute this, Jim?
Hi there. I have a question for you. I have numerous parents that have been kind to film sports events, and they put them on YouTube.
Okay.
And I'm trying to figure out a way to download the videos. Actually, you're talking about backup. It's a good segue, because I'm looking to download the videos and then keep those as part of my backup file, so 10 years from now I'm able to watch them with my son.
Gotcha. All right. So I've just jumped onto YouTube here because I want to make sure I get it right. And I'm remoted into my computer at home. So all of a sudden, my son's having a sleepover right now, and they're in the basement sleeping. And all of a sudden, Moana just came on my computer at home, and it's going to start playing through the speakers. So that's pretty awesome, because that's what the first thing that came up on YouTube here. So I went to the Moana thing on YouTube. So I'm on youtube.com. And underneath the video, there should be sharing options. And if you click on the share icon, there are sometimes you have a download option and sometimes you don't, and it doesn't look like there is here. So basically, sometimes YouTube will allow you to download files and sometimes they won't. Under the share option, if you click that, you can see the download option sometimes. If it's not there, there's a there's one called the Video Download Helper that I use in my Firefox browser. And it's an add-on that will literally allow you to, when you load a web page, it scans there's like 14 videos on this page. Which one do you want to grab? And it grabs the one you want to grab and downloads it from the page. So you can definitely do it. It's just, especially, I think the download option might also appear if you're logged in and it's your account. Then you might get a download option as well there. So if you can get the login information for the person who put the videos up, that might help as well.
Okay, so either the share an icon or the video download add-on through Firefox, or go back to the parent.
You got it.
Okay.
All right, thanks for the call, Jim. I appreciate it. We got to draw a winner of today's $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Somebody's going to get $25 to spend on a nice holiday special or something shiny. All righty, a little Moana reference there for you if you didn't catch that one, guys. If you have kids, you know what I'm talking about, and if you don't, you're just thinking he's a weirdo. All right, today's winner is Ed. Congratulations, Ed. You got yourself a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Christine will get a hold of you from the Lincoln Service Center to get that out to you because that's what she does. And in Papillion, we'll be building computers, and in Omaha, we'll be recovering data. We'll have the 2017 holiday specials on display in all 3 service centers, both laptop and desktop. If you have never seen a 2K monitor before in your life, you've got to take a look at the 2K monitor on the holiday special. It is so unbelievably, amazingly awesome. So just stop in and even if you're not going to buy one, you got to see it. Come take a look at it. All 3 locations. Also, make sure you share the show here on Facebook real quick if you would, if you're listening on Facebook. It helps us reach those people in faraway states, like New Jersey. I think he's the only guy in New Jersey listening right now. It's pretty amazing. All right. Also, if you have the opportunity and if you have a great experience, was it Ed that had the review of Kyle? Okay. So if you're like Ed and you have one of our employees does a great job, please take a moment to review them on Google. Those Google reviews mean the world to us as well. We'll see you again next Sunday for another exciting edition of Compute This.
Nebraska's news, weather, and traffic station. This is News Radio 1110 KFAB Omaha, an iHeart radio station. On demand at K.
We don't have a whole ton of time today. Can we turn the studio down just a little bit? Thank you. So I don't have. I was shouting over the speaker behind me. I'm deaf in one ear, so when things around me are loud, I tend to get louder to cover that up so you make sure you can all hear me. So sometimes I end up yelling at people and they're like, he yells a lot. He's really scary. Like little kids are afraid of me sometimes. I have to remember to quiet myself down a little bit. But I don't have a ton of time today because we've got some festivities happening at the Schrock household today. So I've got to make sure I'm back to help my wife out with that stuff. But I want to make sure if there's somebody online on Facebook that has some questions that I can get those taken for you. So if you have a question that you weren't able to get in on the show or just didn't want to do on the show, now is your chance to ask it. If something's a little oddball or not quite fitting, you can ask it here too, and I'll do my best to answer. All right, frustrating thing. We talk about cryptocurrencies a lot on the show. I try to keep it pretty high level stuff. But I mentioned a few weeks ago that we were working on software that would automatically trade the cryptocurrency market so I can buy these coins and trade them. Oh, I missed out on my birthday was on Friday and I was doing birthday things. I was having a great day. It was a wonderful day. And, but then my cryptocurrency, I guess, got a little too greedy. And I tried to buy something that was like a penny lower than I needed it to be. And I ended up missing out on like a $1,500 jump because I was trying to get a penny. And it was like, oh, God, I totally screwed that up. So if you have any weird questions about stuff like that, even, we can do them here on the Facebook show. Stuff that would get people normally to turn off the radio dial. They're a little more tolerant on Facebook. All right, Thomas, I need to check out one of those monitors. Can I blame you when my wife gets mad at me for buying 3 new monitors? No, you can get mad at me. That's fine. Because then she'll yell, who in their right mind needs 3 monitors on their desk? And I'll tell her, well, it could be worse. You could be like me. I bought 4. And my desk I didn't measure my desk first, so my desk wasn't big enough, and I ended up like with an extra monitor on the floor in a box, like a spare, So I guess, Thomas, make sure you buy the spare. This is the moral of the story there. All right, Heath, where is a good place to get drivers for old computers? I like to go to this place called the Internet. They tend to have a wide variety and selection of different pieces of software and information, regardless of the age of the technology. It's pretty amazing. In all seriousness, we had a computer in our Lincoln Service Center that was a Panasonic Toughbook, and the guy had to have Windows 95 on it. Windows 95. He had to have it because it worked with some piece of equipment that was going to be $10 million to replace if it wasn't Windows 95 or whatever. This computer had a floppy drive. It had no CD drive, no USB ports, no Ethernet port. This thing was an island, okay? It was hilarious to watch my millennial techs trying to figure out how to take something on a DVD and install it on a computer that only had a floppy disk. And they were putting the floppy disk in the floppy drive. And they're like, why won't this thing write? And I'm like, well, did you move the write protection key? He's like, what the heck is that? And he pulls out the disk and he's like, well, there's nothing to move here. I'm like, you got to put a piece of tape over the little hole in the corner. He's like, you're joking, right? I'm like, no, this is physical tech, man. Old school physical tech. Come on, let's do this. And so anyway, he beat his head on it for like a day. And then finally I'm like, all right, step aside. And I have one of those old man pride moments where it's like, back in my day, I had these crazy skills that only the space cowboy has, that we have to launch to the moon to save the earth, and only the old guy can do it because all these young guys are too young and stupid to know how to do that thing. But anyway, I think they just let me do it because they didn't feel like doing it. So I got my floppy disks and everything, and I got everything done. And so then, just like Keith, I'm like, okay, now I got Windows 95 installed. I need to find the drivers for this laptop, right? Because Windows 95 was the first plug-and-play operating system, but it plugged, but it didn't play very well. So now I need to get the drivers. And I'm like, gosh, where am I going to find Panasonic Toughbook drivers from 1995? That was before the internet, really. I mean, come on. Okay, well, so I'm like joking, like, yeah, I'm going to have to go to like Panasonic Toughbookdriver.com or something. No joke, I do a search and that website exists. Panasonic Toughbookdrivers.com. The one Toughbook model that I needed is the one they didn't have any drivers for. They had drivers for the model before it and the model after it. Luckily, Panasonic had the drivers on their website, though. So usually, to answer your question a little less tongue-in-cheek, Keith, the manufacturer's website will have the drivers you need. That's where I ended up finding those drivers. Oh, yeah, the floppy disks. One of the guys were asking me, Mary, one of the guys was asking me, so what's the capacity of one of these anyway? Because he was trying to figure out how to get the contents of the CD onto how many floppy disks he would need. And they don't make floppy disks anymore, but we have them in each service center because at the weirdest oddball times they come in handy. Like updating a BIOS or something. Sometimes you have to have a floppy disk for that, but they go bad, right? So they're starting to degenerate and go bad on us. So we had to go through like 5 or 6 disks to find one good one. And he was getting concerned, we wouldn't have enough floppy disks to move the content of the Windows 95 CD onto. And I'm like, what in the world is wrong with you, man? You don't do that. It was, long story short, I bypassed the whole floppy disk process, and they were thoroughly amazed. But yeah, it was pretty fun. But yeah, the floppy disk, is it double density or single density? Oh yeah, remember those days? Like 1.44 megabytes or 720 megabytes? Yeah, those are the days. So all right, last call for questions, guys. If you got something to ask, now is the time to ask it. Oh, let's see, what else do we have going on that I haven't talked about in the service center yet? You know how you make like a catalog or something, and you think it's perfect, and you double check everything twice. That's what double checking is. And you send it off to the printer, and no joke, the second they lay ink on the page, you find another typo. Yeah, so there's a typo in the holiday special catalog. So when you get yours, it has a little black dot in it because we got the capacity of the hard drive on the holiday special desktop incorrect. And so we put a black dot over it to cover it up, like dot. That never happened. Ignore the black dot. So yeah, you can grab one of our catalogs and take a look at the black dot and get a chuckle over that. If you see a black dot in there, that's what's going on. The Asus F50S and the manufacturer had drivers for an F50SV, but not sure if it's the same model. Yeah, the SV is a submodel. So Keith, it's not going to hurt it if you tried to do that. My guess is you probably do have the SV. Asus is really bad about that. How they'll put an abbreviated model on the back of the laptop. We found out about this with the Resolute laptops we were selling. There's an SD model and an SE model. And the SE model has been discontinued. As I mentioned this on the show, I think a week ago, everybody's going chip on board. The Resolute is our entry level. It's a $500 laptop. Everything in that price point is going chip on board now. We can't even buy a laptop that's not chip on board at that price point. So when you buy the Resolute laptop, it's the only laptop we have at Schrock where the memory cannot be updated. it can't be upgraded because it's soldered down and they don't give you a slot to put more memory in. So if you ever want more than 4 gigs of RAM, don't buy the cheap computer. Get the mid-range one because it has upgradable memory slots. And the guys tell you all about that in the shop. But yeah, usually the drivers will work for either model. Usually it differentiates a slight motherboard capability difference, not a chipset difference. The same driver should work. All right, guys. Yeah, loading games on my old Commodore 64 with floppy disks. I had a tape drive from my VIC-20. I got it at a secondhand store when I was a kid. I was like, Dad, give me this computer. I'll do anything. I'll do my homework on it. I did learn basic coding on it. I made good on that. Some might say that was my first computer and got me kind of started in the direction where I'm going now. But yeah, because when I was a kid, it was a big deal to get a computer. But yeah, the audio cassettes, instead of a floppy disk, they had an audio cassette. So if you ever heard a modem tone, you're like, nee, 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 nee. They would record that on the tape. And then when you wanted to load your program, you put the tape in and you hit play. And, there weren't a whole lot of programs to choose from. It wasn't like you go to Best Buy, there was a bunch of audio cassettes with programs on there. So, like, you go to, like, these secondhand stores or flea markets and you're looking for these programs. They're like, which one should I get today? There's the horse betting program. Like, you can input all the names of the horses and their statistics. It'll tell you which horse is going to win the race. Like, I was like, man, like, I can get the gambling one, or I can get the enter your recipe one. Yeah, I got the gambling one. I wanted to learn how they figured out what horse would win the race. I figured that might come in handy later in life. I don't gamble anymore. Oh, golly. All right, guys, I've got to roll. Have a happy Thanksgiving. I can't say that kind of stuff during the regular radio broadcast anymore because it airs a week later in Lincoln, so it would be like a little belated in Lincoln next Saturday. But happy Thanksgiving. There will be no Aftershock and no Facebook Live next week because it's going to be a pre-recorded program. So I'll be out of town that week, but we'll be back live next week. We'll be on KMTV Channel 3 live tomorrow at 9:35 if you want to watch the Omaha Morning Blend. If you're not in the Omaha metro area, we'll post the video from that on Facebook as well. All righty. Thanks for joining us, guys. Have a great Thanksgiving and a great afternoon. We'll see you again next week.